joints right here, man, that you play when you feeling down on your ism, right? Play this shit right here and resuscitate your pimpin' and get you right back on your mission, right? For you hoes, this that shit you play when you ain't feeling like super hoe today. Play this shit right here and spark up your hoeing and get you right back going, you dig? Dig this. Pimps for real, don't mistake it for fashion. The turf that birthed my reputation for mashing was the track with active, attractive hoes. Professional goers that attract the dough. Like magnets to metal, never settle. We scorching them fag bitches pedal for them portions. My whores win it all. Not the ones on the sideline wishing but didn't ball in the guidelines. My bitches did it all. Down 7 below in the snow for dough. Over 120 in the sun for fun. They mash for hours, hooker baths, not showers. Bright and early, down and dirty for the cash and power. They gotta get the cash, the towers, and reach it all to a pimp. In my position, I'm all but exempt. These bras not wimps, I'm like them renegade bitches. BFFs with tricks but never getting paid riches. Grenade bitches, they dynamite, blowing up on the pimpin' and missing when the time is right. But when they life gets strife, they see pimpin' shining bright, but they action is life without. Bitch, one strike you out. Can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga. See, that's the difference, nigga. The pimpin' mashin' for these riches, nigga. Nothing like you master magician niggas. Smoking mirrors with your game, hella extras to reflect the opposite appearance of a lame. Bitches coming from y'all, I can't rock with those. Tender-footed and rooted in them doctor shows. Soft shoe rituals, minute residuals. Papers on life support, your loots and critical. Something I learned about when running my earned route and working with turnouts is murdering burnouts. Cause knocking one of you niggas for a scarred bitch, that's knocking one of you niggas for some garbage. I'm heartless regardless, empty with sympathy, but banked up to the max with pimpathy. No remedy for me, I'm like this. My life is vice grip, synced in permanent ink. You can't rewrite this. My blood type is P positive, beautifully deposited with a lot of it. I'm popping this shit, and when I pop it so hard I make a trapping ass bad bitch wanna hoe hard. Can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga. Come on, pimpin', man, pop that shit. Show these sucker niggas they can't stop that shit. Let these hookers know if they wanna cop that shit. Treat the bag like it's hot, bitch, and drop that shit. Dig. And to you hoes, if you ever took a loss, bitch, show these bitches how to bounce back like a boss, bitch. Let them know that the best way to floss, bitch, is reach that paper to some pimpin' hoe and toss it. Can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga. Joints right here, man, that you play when you feeling down on your ism, right? Play this shit right here and resuscitate your pimpin' and get you right back on your mission, right? For you hoes, this that shit you play when you ain't feeling like super hoe today. Play this shit right here and spark up your hoeing and get you right back going, you dig? Dig this. Pimps for real, don't mistake it for fashion. The turf that birthed my reputation for mashing was the track with active, attractive hoes. Professional goers that attract the dough. Like magnets to metal, never settle. We scorching them fag bitches pedal for them portions. My whores win it all. Not the ones on the sideline wishing but didn't ball in the guidelines. My bitches did it all. Down 7 below in the snow for dough. Over 120 in the sun. Welcome, everybody. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and tapping in. First things first, we're going to have a moment of silence for the legendary OJ Simpson. All right. Y'all already know what to do when you step into a pimp's domain. Wipe your feet off at the door. Hit that like button. And y'all already know my first order of business, man. I got to hydrate my game with some of this good old love juice, this H to the Izzo. Yeah. Okay. All right, man. As many of you, I'm sure, have heard by now, some say he passed away yesterday. Some say he passed away Tuesday. Some say he passed away Wednesday. But the news broke everywhere yesterday that OJ Simpson passed away after, a battle with some cancer. I guess he initially had cancer. He beat the cancer, but then the cancer came back. And although recently he was seen several times, hopeful that he was going to beat the cancer again, unfortunately he didn't make it. So, yeah, man. Rest in peace to OJ Simpson. Condolences to his family, his children, and I'm not sure, but I imagine he got grandkids as well. Family and loved ones. Much love to the Bay. Much love to San Francisco. Yeah, man. Because OJ definitely was repping San Francisco hard. He was repping the Bay hard. He even let it be known, man, that he was a Messy Marv fan. You dig? Yeah, OJ Simpson was best. He was bumping all that good Bay Area underground music, man. But he definitely was letting it be known that he rocked with Messy Marv and San Quinn and various others. You dig? I just got to play that clip. Let's get to it. Hold on. Hold on.
Favorite artist, he said, well, if we're going to go favorite artist, I'm going Tupac. I'm from the Bay. I said, oh, I didn't know that you was repping the Bay like this, man. So
I thought it was Dr. Rupp. I told him it's Messy Marv, it's San Quentin, it's all these. I was into all the Bay guys back in the day.
E40? What about E40?
All of the Bay guys.
E40?
Back in the day.
40 Water, E40?
Yeah.
What
Yes.
about Mac Dre?
I was into every rapper, everybody that was doing it from the Bay, just like in football. I supported them all.
That's what's up. See, I said, well, who's your favorite?
Yeah, man. So, again, like I say, OJ, he was repping the Bay tough. And as most of us know, a lot of people know OJ for his controversy, man. OJ Simpson was a very controversial individual, not just because of the case, did the murder case that he beat and was found innocent on. Not only was he controversial because of that alone, but the type of individual that he was on, in the media after the fact. The book that he wrote, interviews that he did, things that he said, his reaction to certain things was also very controversial. You dig? And he was even a little bit, not very much so, but a little bit controversial even before the murder case that he was found innocent on. You dig? But see, a lot of people don't remember the legendary football player OJ Simpson, man. A lot of people don't remember the first football player running back to rush for 2,000 yards in a season, back when the NFL season was only 14 games in a regular season. He was the first one to rush for 2,000 yards. A lot of people don't remember that. A lot of people don't remember the Heisman Trophy winner, OJ Simpson. You dig? But let's take a look at that, man. Let's take a look at the legendary football player OJ Simpson. We just gonna take a little look. Yeah, these are some highlights from the game. USC versus UCLA. Obviously, if you don't know, OJ Simpson played for USC, which is who he won the Heisman Trophy playing for. But let's just take a look at these highlights one time, man. See how cold OJ was on that football field. Yeah, man. That's just one of many cold things that OJ did, man. Let me see if I can find this though. This is what I want to see. Hold on. I don't know if they got, okay, they look like they might got video of it. Let's see, man. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I was with you.
This one, OJ won that Heisman Trophy, man, back in 1968 when he was the coldest football player in college football. You dig?
Well, I don't know. I was what you might call a problem child in my junior high school, and might add my high school days. I didn't care too much about school. All I wanted to do was play sports. I played on a number of teams at the time. And, well, I guess once I got out of high school, I looked around and I didn't have anything. Some of the other guys, athletes in the city, had went on to college on scholarships, and I had messed around and I couldn't get in most colleges, the ones I wanted to get in. So I decided that I would go to junior college and make up some grades. I also met the girl who would later become my wife, and I guess I just got a little more serious, and I went to junior college and think about the future, and I worked and made up the grades, and I was fortunate enough to get in USC.
Now, how does Southern Cal look for next year?
I don't know what happened to the audio. They tripping, though. Man, what happened to y'all shit?
About 6 guys, but we have some good guys backing them up, so we have a pretty tough schedule next year, so it'll be interesting to see. I think we have a pretty good team, and I hope we go back to the Rose Bowl.
Well, Humphrey was our first pick and an outstanding defensive.
That's some bullshit. I was trying to see that Heisman Trophy ceremony, man. I guess they don't have the shit on here, man, but, obviously OJ won that Heisman, man. Let me see what this talking about.
Heisman Trophy winning running back at the University of Southern California. Then 11 spectacular years with the NFL vaulted him to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Simpson cashed in on the popularity, becoming a pitchman for Hurts. And
yeah, I know they're going to get to the negativity after that, man, but we focus on the positivity.
Feelings, but it's actually siding.
Hold on. Let me see. But yeah, man, OJ, I can't find the clip that I'm looking for, but OJ, he won that Heisman, man, back in 1968 when he played for USC. Of course, he ended up going on to the NFL. But, you know, OJ come from the hood, man. So a lot of people, like I said, they only know OJ for the case, the murder case that he was found innocent on, right? But, you know, a lot of people don't know OJ background, man. You know, OJ come from the hood. OJ, you know, he come from San Francisco. And a lot of people, when you think of San Francisco, you think of trolleys, you think of Rice-A-Roni, you think of Full House. You know what I mean? Not a day goes by. You think about that shit, man, when you think about San Francisco, man. But, you know, hey, San Francisco got some hoods, man. And it's been heavily gentrified in recent years. But back in the day, man, it was a lot of projects in San Francisco that have since been torn down. They still got some projects left that's still standing, but it's a lot of projects that was around in San Francisco that got torn down. You know, one of them was the Potrero Hill projects, and that's where OJ is from. You know what I mean? OJ from Potrero Hill. He from the hood. He a project baby. You know what I mean? Came from poverty. You know, he didn't really have it like that growing up. You know, he used to get into a little bit of trouble. Not too much trouble, but, you know, like he said on that little clip that was just playing, you know, he was kind of like a troubled kid a little bit when he was young. But he said freeze with the vocals. Yeah, you know, I can't do it like my brother, man. You know, he was cold when it came to that. You know what I mean? Shout out to my brother Sinful to P. But yeah, man, you know, OJ come from the hood, man, but, you know, he had a gift. You know, some people have talent that can be developed. And, you know, you have some people that are gifted. OJ was gifted when it came to football. You know what I mean? You have some people that, you know, they, like I said, they might have, you know, a little bit of ability, but they have a talent that's been developed, you know, through hard work and dedication. And it's not to say that OJ wasn't hardworking and dedicated, but, you know, when you put that together with the gift that he was given, you know, he had God-given gifts, you know, athletically, that made him as vicious and cold as he was on that football field, man. You know, so fortunately, man, you know, OJ didn't end up like a lot of us who come from the ghetto, you know, getting into the street life, you know, ended up a statistic, you know, getting deleted early. Like I'm sure a lot of his friends, his peers that he grew up with and went to high school with, I'm sure a lot of them, you know, ended up getting deleted at a young age. I'm sure a lot of them ended up going to prison. You know, a lot of them probably, you know, got strung out on drugs or became winos and just didn't do nothing with their life. You know, and especially during the times when he was growing up. See, OJ grew up in the 50s and the 60s, right? And, you know, back in them days, it wasn't how it is now. You know, you see how now we got so many different opportunities. Anybody with a smartphone can do what I'm doing right now and blow up and change your life. You know, anybody with access to the internet can create an account and monetize yourself. You can do that. Or if you have a business, if you have a product or service, whatever it is that you do, the likelihood for success at whatever it is that you do can be amplified with the internet if you're just inclined to do so, right? So, you know, there's a lot of opportunities available right now that weren't available back in the day. And it's not to say that poverty don't still exist in America, because it definitely does. You know, you still got a lot of people that's struggling, a lot of people going through, you know, rough times and living a rough life and things of that nature. But, you know, back in the 50s and the 60s when OJ was growing up in San Francisco, man, you know, or just California, period, you know, as a young black man, it wasn't like that. You know, it wasn't all these kind of opportunities that you see now. They did have black professionals, but it was a very small minority. Back then you didn't see a whole lot of black attorneys. They were there, of course, but not nearly as many as you see now. You didn't see a lot of black people with higher educations from prestigious schools like you see now. You know what I mean? OJ kind of grew up at a pivotal point in history where, it kind of changed from, the civil rights movement was going on as he was growing up. So in his earlier part of his childhood, it was a situation where, there's a lot of segregation going on. If you were black, you were restricted to certain parts of the city, in every city in America. You had ghettos that minorities were restricted to. You couldn't even if you had the money, you couldn't live in certain areas. They had a thing called redlining, which some of y'all may be familiar with, but they just wouldn't allow black people to buy property in certain areas. Black people weren't allowed to be professionals in certain fields. Black people weren't allowed to go to certain schools. So the opportunities were extremely limited, and it wasn't no internet like how it is now. So OJ, he grew up in a time where, you had to create opportunities if you wanted to do something big. You had to go hard. Not long before OJ was born, probably around the time he was born is when you started to see, aside from boxing, you started to see in baseball too. You started to see, because I think I think OJ was born either the year that Jackie Robinson went to the major leagues, or maybe a year or so after. But OJ was born like right around the time when Jackie Robinson went to Major League Baseball, when he went to the Dodgers. You dig? So like I said, he came at a pivotal point in history where certain opportunities that weren't available before his time started to become available. You dig? So with that being the case, man, and the combination of certain opportunities becoming available, and then him being gifted in the ways that he was, he didn't end up being a statistic. Like he even said on that clip that I just played, because of his academics, he didn't have the opportunity to go to certain schools. So, he went to a junior college, stepped his grades up, played his ass off with the football, I'm sure, and then he went to USC. And, that opened up the door for, great possibilities for him. So, he go on to win the Heisman Trophy. Then, he goes to the NFL, and not only does OJ go to the NFL, but he the number one draft pick, man. Yeah. OJ the number one pick, man. When he go to the NFL, 1969, he won the Heisman Trophy in 68. 69, he goes to the NFL, he the number one draft pick, man. And came in the league killing shit. He started out with the Buffalo Bills, and that's where, the majority of his career was played. The most significant chunk of his career was played with the Buffalo Bills. Towards the end of his career, he played for the Niners. Like I said, he was the first running back to rush for 2,000 yards in a season. And see, 2,000 yards is still respectable even in today's times. But in today's times, I believe, what is it, 17 games in the season now? I believe it's 17 games in a regular season of football. But back when OJ was playing, it was 14 games in the season. So to rush for 2,000 yards in a 14 game season, that's not something that everybody was doing. But OJ, he raised the status quo in football. You know what I mean? He really pushed the envelope when it came to things that was being done in football. You dig? So, like I said, it's just unfortunate that, his life took the turns that it did to the point where it overshadowed his greatness when it came to football. But man, you can't just you can't sweep OJ under the rug in football history. College football, the NFL, throughout his whole career, he was great. He was legendary. You know what I mean? That's one thing that can't be argued. So yeah, man, OJ was that dude. And then after he retired from football, well, wait, before we talk about him retiring from football, let's check out this highlight. I see it's a highlight reel right here, man. Let's check out OJ's
I think people have completely overlooked the fact now that he was clearly the best running back, giving where he rushes for 273 yards, proof that the best football player in the world is just sort of being wasted on this team going place.
Yeah, it is unfortunate that he was on the Bills. OJ Simpson was kind of like Barry Sanders, you know what I mean? Like how Barry Sanders is to the Lions, that's how OJ Simpson was to the Bills, man. They just wasn't really that team like that, but he was just so phenomenal, man, that he made his mark in history just like Barry Sanders did, man. But, OJ really was that dude, man. He couldn't be messed with. And like you just heard, he rushed for 273 yards in a game. Hey, that's crazy. Even in today's times, that's crazy. You know what I mean? Like, everybody ain't just rushing for, especially back then, everybody ain't just rushing for 273 yards. Passing yards, yeah, that ain't really amazing for a wide receiver to get them kind of yards. But for a running back, yeah, man, you got to respect that. You got to put some respect on that, man. You know what I mean? Yeah, man, OJ was that dude, man. That's what I want y'all to understand, man. Don't forget about that, man. Ain't nobody perfect. None of us. I'm not perfect. Everybody who's watching ain't perfect. Everybody who's not watching ain't perfect. You know what I mean? Nobody on this planet inhaling and exhaling, bleeding blood is perfect. We all make mistakes. And, we all sin. The scripture says that none of us are good, not one. Ain't nobody good. And, in the eyes of God, sin is sin. A lie is no lesser of a sin than a misnomer. You dig? Sin is sin. So, a lot of people, it's unfortunate, man, that, with OJ's passing, man, a lot of people be in their feelings and, they got a lot of derogatory things to say about OJ Simpson, man. But, he ain't here no more, man. And he ain't perfect. So everybody with something to say about him. And it's, I really don't want to get into that, but it's just certain things I got to touch on, man, because it's certain pots out there calling the kettle black that really need to be quiet and keep OJ name out their mouth, man. We gonna touch on that, but I don't want that to take away from, the celebration of OJ's life. But I do have to speak on that, though. You dig? But yeah, back to the legendary OJ Simpson, man. Back to the juice. You know what I mean? The American legendary football player. You dig? Yeah, man. OJ was that dude, man. 273 yards in a game, in one game. 2,000 yards in a 14-game season. Come on, man. Put some respect on this man's name. You dig?
On Thanksgiving 1976, Buffalo's quarterback completed 4 of 21 passes for 29 yards. O.J. Simpson ran 29 times for a then single-game record 273 yards in defeat.
I tell you, they're behind on the scoreboard, but you get the feeling they've won something here today.
Cold. Phenomenal, man. Look at this man.
The playoffs eluded Simpson in 10 of his 11 seasons.
Get off.
Jim Brown's single-season rushing record did not.
Have a seat. Sit down.
In
Lay down, take a nap.
1973, playing a 14-game
Get up.
season, Simpson
down, take a nap.
sprinted for a
You making everybody
staggering
take a nap.
2,003 yards.
Yeah, what you think you're doing?
Gaining 2,003 yards
Can't forget my ball, man.
in a
Let's get out of here,
14-game
man. Let's go.
schedule is
I almost
substantially
forgot my
more
ball.
impressive
Yeah.
than Eric Dickerson's
Dropped the
best
ball,
season,
picked
or
it
Barry
back up,
Sanders' best
and still
season,
got on.
or Terrell Davis's best
Hold
season.
on, man. I got to play that again, man. Hold on. Let me finish it.
Top 10 Heisman.
Did y'all see that? Like, who does that? Who is this cold? Like, who does shit like this, man? This is cold. I got to play that again, man. That's vicious. Look at this.
2,003 yards.
Sit down. Oh, shit. Oh,
Gaining
damn.
2,003 yards
Okay, let's go.
in a 14-game schedule is substantially more impressive than Eric Dickerson's best season, or Barry Sanders' best season, or Terrell Davis's best season.
Top 10 Heisman.
That's cold, man. That's so cold. I got to play it again, man. Like, matter of fact, I got to play it. I got to DJ Screw it the next time. This time, hold on. I got to DJ Screw this shit, man, because this shit is just so cold. I got to DJ Screw it. Just one time. Hold on. Look at this, man. This don't make no damn sense. Who does this? You drop the ball and then you you run that thing all the way back? Hold on. Do half. Look at this, man.
Gaining 2,003 yards in a 14-game schedule.
That's cold, man. That is cold. That's cold. Hey, that's cold, man. That's cold. Like, you know, see, for those of y'all who never played football or just never played sports, period, you know, you just don't understand, man, like how plays like that, like how that's just not something that just people easily do. You drop the damn ball behind you, you go backwards and get the ball, pick it up, and then you run it all the way back. Come on, man. Like, that ain't something, you know, it's people that, it's great football players, great running backs, you know, that have never done stuff like that, you know, or 273 yards in the season. Again, you know, even if you've never played on a professional level, you may have never played on a collegiate level, but if you've played like football at all, organized football, if you've played high school football, if you played Pop Warner football, man, you know that rushing for 273 yards in a single game, you know that shit is not easy, man. You know, it's a lot of legendary running backs who have never done that. You know what I mean? That shit, you know, and he set the record at that time for that. That shit is cold. You did? But let's continue.
The first.
Hold on, I gotta unscrew it. Let me unscrew this shit one time. Back to normal. Here we go.
First one I think of is OJ Simpson.
1968 Heisman Trophy winner O.J. Simpson was more than just college football's best player. He was the biggest name in the game.
They talk about Tebow being the biggest college football star of all time, and I've always said O.J. Simpson was the biggest college football player I remember.
Really broke open. It was like your defense was in mud. They couldn't close any gap between themselves and him.
I think you could easily argue that O.J. Simpson is the most valuable player of the 70s for the entire league.
The man we are watching tonight is one of the great athletes of all time. Many say the greatest runner who ever carried the football. His name is O.J.
I don't know why it's glitching like that. But yeah, man, you know, OJ was cold, man. You know, how they saying that he was the most valuable player in the NFL of the 70s, it's kind of hard to argue that, man. And this is what you got to understand too. You see all these athletes with these huge contracts, signing for hundreds of millions of dollars over the course of a handful of years, right? 200 and something $million contracts for 5 years and all this type of stuff, right? They're doing that in professional basketball. They're doing it in professional baseball. Now, out of all and it's crazy because I would say football, of all the professional sports in America, I would say that football is the most demanding. Why do you think that football has the shortest season out of all the professional sports? The NFL, the NBA, I believe the NBA plays for, what is it, like 7 months out the year? Baseball plays even more than that. A baseball season is what, like 120 something games? I want to say, is it 129, something like that? Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. But baseball and basketball, they have the longer seasons for a reason because, it doesn't take as much of a toll on you as football does. And it's crazy because even though football is the most demanding, the most exhausting, the most damaging, the most dangerous sport of the professional sports, probably with the exception of boxing, like team sports, in spite of that, they get paid the lowest. They still make millions of dollars, but, they get paid the least out of the three major sports, football, basketball, baseball. Football players get paid the least, right? Oh, 180, excuse me. Somebody else said 162 in a baseball season. Maybe it used to be 162. I don't know. I know baseball players play a lot of games. Basketball season is 82 games. And I think now football is 17 games. Because, ain't nowhere in the world. Just imagine that. Imagine if an NFL season was 82 games. Come on, man. Everybody's career going to be over with in 2 years. All the NFL players going to have to retire after 2 seasons. You know what I mean? Just imagine if that was the case. Like, if a football season was 82 games. Shit, half of that, 41 games. Imagine if a football season was even 41 games. Come on, man. Everybody going to be retarded. Everybody's brains is going to be mush. Joints all messed up. You know what I mean? Like, they going to be able to, they barely going to be able to walk after one season. So I say all of that to say, OJ was one of those guys in football that raised the status quo and pushed the envelope when it came to the salaries for the players. You dig? When he signed with the Bills, that was the biggest contract at the time, not just in football, but in professional sports history. You dig? He signed a contract for $650,000 over the course of 5 years. Now, I know a lot of y'all probably think like, man, that ain't, $650,000, that ain't a lot of money. But when you think about the times, this is in the 60s. In 1969, he signed a contract for, $650,000 for 5 years. So that's what is that? $130,000 a year? Yeah, I think $130,000 a year. So let's just do the let's look up. Hold on. Let's do this. Let's go to the inflation calculator and see what that would be in today's times. Let's see. Okay. 1969. Let's see what 650,000 is. Yeah, so you see there, right? That's like, signing for $5 million, $5.5 million roughly in today's times. But you got to think about so it's like $5 million today. So just imagine back then somebody signing for $5 million. If you could just put your mind there, you know what I mean? Like back in those days, somebody signing a 5-year contract for $5.5 million. That was like astronomical for that time in the 60s. You dig? And OJ was the first one to do that. So, he was a blessing not just for football, not just for the NFL and the players of the NFL, but he was a blessing for professional sports, period, because there were no athletes getting paid that much money at that time. You dig? And but you got to think about, all aspects of it. Like how does it make sense? How is that even possible? How do you how does the NFL even, create the wherewithal to be able to pay somebody that much money? Because I'm pretty sure like in the 1920s, the NFL wasn't even generating enough money to pay somebody like that. You dig? So, of course, TV, TV's being made available to everybody because in the 1920s, everybody didn't have a TV. I think TVs came around in the 40s, or the early 1940s, I think is when TVs came around. So, TV made it big. Of course, radio was still a big thing back then. So, things evolved over time. And, when you have somebody like OJ Simpson, again, like I said, ain't nobody outside when OJ playing. Everybody inside watching the game. So, he's obviously going to make the NFL a whole lot more money. And see, people don't think about things like that when it comes to OJ Simpson, man. I just want to put things in context for you so that you understand how great this dude was when it came to football, man. Like, they paid this man $650,000 at a time when they wasn't giving up money like that. Let me see if I can find that. Let's see if we can find the average NFL player's salary back then. Let's see. Let's do 1968, the year before he signed. Just think about that. Look at this. Oh, wait. What does this say? According to the NFL Player Association, the first collective bargaining agreement in professional football was signed in July 1968, establishing a minimum salary of $9,000 for rookies and $10,000 for veteran players. The median family income in 1968 has reached $7,700, according to the Census Bureau. So, this was the minimum. Like, I guess in 1968, coincidentally, that was the year that they made a minimum wage for the NFL. So the minimum wage for a rookie player in 1968 was $9,000 a year. And for veteran players, it was $10,000 a year, right? So if the minimum wage is $10,000, let's see if they got an average. See if there's an average. I don't see nothing about an average. I'm sure the average, was probably a little more than this. The average was probably a little more than this. And if you were like a high-profile player back then, like a Jim Brown or something like that, a Joe Namath, if you was like one of them kind of guys, I could see you getting paid probably $20,000 a year back then. You know what I mean? So just think about, you know, the high profile players in the 60s. If this is the minimum wage around the time OJ comes into the league, you know, let's say, you know, put it like this. That contract breaks down to $130,000 a year. So he's making more than 10 times the minimum for the NFL. So you know what that does for everybody else, right? Like, if you playing for these other teams, you like, hold on, man. You know, this dude who ain't even stepped on the field yet, y'all done gave him $650,000. Shit, you're going to have to raise mine up. That opens the door. That opens the door for the discussion of, you know, negotiating for a bigger contract. OJ Simpson did that, man. You got to give him his props. You know, it's kind of like what Magic Johnson did for the NBA. You know, Magic Johnson signed the first $1 million contract. You know, at the time when they gave that to Magic, that was unheard of. They gave him, now it was kind of a crazy contract when you think about it in today's times. You know, $20 million for 20 years. So it was a 20-year contract, but it was for $20 million. So, you know, basically he was making $1 million a year. At the time when they gave that to Magic, that was unheard of. You dig? So you go from, and that was in the early 80s when they gave that to Magic, right? So you go from the late 60s, you have an OJ Simpson getting signed for $650,000 for 5 years. So it's like, you know, he's making over $100,000 a year now, about $130,000 a year. You know, that opens the door for everybody else to negotiate, especially cats that's winning Super Bowls, you know, cats that's MVPs, you know, cats that's, you know, defensive player of the year, or, you know, you rush for more yards this season than anybody else in the league, or, you know, you got more pass receptions, you know, all that type of stuff. You know, when your stats is up, you know, it gives you the room because it hadn't been done before. So it's kind of hard to negotiate, you know, when it ain't been done before, because you know, the team could easily say, well, you know, we don't have that kind of money to pay you. You know, that's kind of crazy to even think that you can get that, because, you know, who else is doing that? Nobody's doing that. Well, now OJ doing it. You know what I mean? So if y'all can get this rookie dude who ain't never played a game yet $650,000 for 5 years, y'all can for sure give me either that or more. You know, so I need that too. And he signed, you know, the Bills is giving him that. The Bills is like the worst team. I think, because the Bills had a terrible rookie season. Let me see. Hold on, I'm going to go to another tab. Hold on. The Bills, OJ's rookie season, I think, was like the worst team in the league, if I'm not mistaken. Wait, let me see. OJ Simpson, rookie season record. Wait. Let me just put rookie season. Let me just go here. Professional career. Oh, it was the year before OJ came. Yeah, they was 1-12-1. So this is the worst team in the league, and they're giving OJ the most money that any professional team has ever given anybody. You dig? So you could just imagine the team who won the Super Bowl, which 1968, it was probably either the Broncos or I can't remember who won the Super Bowl that year. I want to say either the Broncos or the Packers. Let me see. I don't know. Wait. Who won the Super Bowl that year? Okay, yeah, the Packers won that year. You know what I mean? So if you playing for the Packers, man, you know,
And then it gives room for the coaches, everybody to negotiate. You dig? So, yeah, man, all I'm saying, the bottom line is that OJ, he raised the status quo, man. OJ made it where, you know, he opened the door for all athletes, not just football players, but basketball, baseball, everybody. He opened the door for, you know, people to get more money. You know, instead of making tens of thousands, now they're making hundreds of thousands, which in today's times is equivalent to making, you know, a few million a year. Then when Magic come in, you know, Magic raised the status quo even higher, but it starts with OJ Simpson, though. You know, OJ was just that dude, man. That's what I'm saying. You know, the negativity, unfortunately, has overshadowed his greatness when it comes to not just football, but sports, period. American sports, period. You know what I mean? Oh, KC won, I believe. Nah, yeah, it ended up being the Packers. I know KC won a Super Bowl back then. The Broncos won one back then. The Cowboys, you know, those are the teams that was winning back then. The Packers, the Cowboys, the Broncos, Kansas City. Yeah, they was the ones winning Super Bowls back then in them early days of the Super Bowl days. But, yeah, man. Yeah, you know, whether people like him or not, you know, they need to thank OJ because, you know, he did a lot for America, man. You know, just like how they, you know, they celebrate soldiers when they fight for the country and they hold us down in that way. You know, they celebrate, you know, all kinds of other people, man. You got to celebrate OJ, man. You know, yeah, he wasn't perfect. He made some mistakes just like we all do. He committed some sins just like we all do. Everybody under the sun, whoever walked this planet, whoever, you know, even if you couldn't walk this planet, you still committing sins. He wasn't perfect just like nobody else, man. But you got to give this man his props, man. You got to celebrate this man. You got to put some respect on this man's name. You may not like him, but you got to respect him, man. Yeah, let's watch some more of these highlights, though.
OJ isn't a guy that anyone can look at as the same, obviously, in his post-football life.
Anytime you see the name OJ Simpson, you cringe. But if you were looking purely between those lines on the field and what he did, you have to acknowledge he was a phenomenal player.
I am surprised that OJ Simpson is number 3. What did OJ ever win? Nothing. Didn't win national championship in college, correct? Didn't win a Super Bowl at the NFL level. I'm putting Marcus Allen ahead of him. I'm putting Tony Dorsett ahead of him. Tony Dorsett, touchdown! I'm putting guys who won championships ahead of him.
If you were to mold a running back and say, be like this, OJ Simpson would be that running back.
And see, you know, whoever that was saying that, you know, they put Marcus Allen and Tony Dorsett ahead of O.J. Simpson. Hey, listen, man, them guys were beasts. Tony Dorsett was dope. Marcus Allen was very dope as running backs, right? But come on, man. Just because they, you know, hey, listen, like, I'm a 49ers fan, diehard, since a little boy, far back as I can remember. I've been a 49ers fan, right? So naturally, as a 49ers fan, you know, I got love for Ricky Watters. But if we just gonna keep it all the way 1,000, Ricky Watters wasn't that great of a running back. He just had a great team. The 49ers was just cold. So, yeah, Ricky Watters, he got, you know, he won a Super Bowl. But, man, you can't compare Ricky Watters to no damn O.J. Simpson at all. You know what I mean? And then, like I said, you know, you got to think about, you know, what was going on in them 70s, man. Like I said, the Steelers was cold. You know what I mean? The Steelers had shit on lock. The Steelers was cold in the 70s. I think, did the Raiders win a Super Bowl in the 70s? I can't remember. But I want to say the Cowboys, you know, was winning back then. Again, like I said, the Packers, the Broncos, these was like some of the colder teams back then. And OJ was just, that's just like Barry Sanders. You know what I mean? See, people hate OJ because of what happened later on in his life. But when you talk about running backs, man, Barry Sanders didn't win no damn championship. But everybody loves Barry Sanders. Don't nobody argue Barry Sanders, man. When you talk about running backs, Barry is that dude. Don't nobody even talk about, oh, well, he didn't win no ring. Man, Barry that dude. Barry cold. You dig? It's a lot of great players, not just in football, but just, across sports, period, that never won a championship that were legendary. Charles Barkley was a fool on that basketball court, man. Karl Malone was a fool on that basketball court. John Stockton, a beast on that basketball court. You know what I mean? And the same thing in football. Eric Dickerson, they mentioned him earlier in there. Eric Dickerson was a beast. And if I remember correctly, I don't think Eric Dickerson won no Super Bowl. Let me keep my facts straight. Let me look up Eric Dickerson. I think he spelled it with a K. Oh, no, he didn't. Keep my facts straight. Career highlights. Nope. I don't see no. Offensive player of the year, all this shit. Pro Bowl. Yeah, Eric Dickerson didn't win no Super Bowls. But he was cold. You know what I mean? Eric Dickerson, he was like one of my favorite running backs, back in the day. You dig? A beast. He's another legendary running back that you got to put some respect on his name, who didn't win a Super Bowl. You know what I mean? So just because Marcus Allen and Tony Dorsett, they won, hey, man, you got to put some respect on people's name who didn't win. I want to say Herman Moore. He's a cold receiver. I don't think Herman Moore. I used to like Herman Moore too. He was cold. I don't think Herman Moore won no Super Bowls. Yeah. You know what I mean? Herman Moore was cold. Let's see. Is it Chris Carter? Who that Carter boy that used to play for the Vikings? I'm saying Chris Carter. Somebody, I'm tripping. I'm having a brain fart right now. Nah, Walter Payton won a Super Bowl. What's that Carter boy that played for the Vikings? The Sweetness won in 85, yeah. No Barry slander will be tolerated. Exactly. You know what I mean? Yeah, how could I forget Randy Moss? Of course. You know what I mean? Randy didn't win no Super Bowl, but man, shit. Oh, it's Chris without a H. I knew his name was Chris Carter. I just was spelling it wrong. Yeah, Chris Carter didn't win no Super Bowl neither. Chris Carter was a beast. You know what I mean? It's a lot of legendary players that didn't win. Some of the best players never won. OJ was one of them guys. So whoever that was, it was saying that, man, that just based on, because you can be a respectable player. You can be just good enough and be on a championship team and get a ring. Then you got some people that sit on the bench that don't even really play like that end up getting a ring. Or you got some people that, with all due respect to them, they end up getting a ring at the end of their career when their glory days is gone. And, it's just for the sake of being able to say they won a ring, but they didn't really earn it like that, though. You know what I mean? I love Gary Payton. But Gary Payton didn't really, the ring that he got, he didn't really, and Gary Payton is a beast. You know what I mean? Gary Payton, one of the coldest point guards ever. You know what I mean? But, you know, he you know, his heyday was gone when he got that ring, man. You know, the list goes on. I think I want to say Juwan Howard got a ring later on. Let me see. All right. I'm spelling his name wrong. How you spell Juwan Howard? Maybe it'll correct it for me. Oh, there we go. Right. Yeah, I knew I wasn't tripping. Yeah, Juwan Howard, he got 2 rings with the Heat. But, you know, Juwan Howard was a beast. But, you know, he got his rings later on, man. So you got people like that, too, that, you know, they heyday was long gone, man, and they end up getting a ring later on in their career and stuff like that. But yeah, Terrell Owens, he another one, man. You know, Terrell Owens was a beast. Undefeated season 2. Terrell Owens never won a year. Nah, Randy Moss didn't win. See, Randy Moss came close a couple of times. You know, he came close with New England, but he didn't win. He was on New England. I think Randy Moss was on that team when they lost to the Giants. When New England lost to the Giants, I think Randy Moss was on that team. Then Randy Moss was on that Niners team with Colin Kaepernick that lost too. You know what I mean? Which I was so mad. Hey, when the Niners lost to the Ravens that year, man, I was punching the air for a week. I was mad as hell, man. I was mad we lost that game, man. But yeah, it was unfortunate for Randy Moss because I think that was Randy's last season when the Niners went to the Super Bowl. I think that was his last season. But yeah, I knew I wasn't tripping. Giants beat Moss and the Patriots when New England was undefeated. Right. Yeah, I knew I wasn't tripping. Right. Moss was on the Niners that lost to the Ravens. Hey, Big J TV, man, we don't need you to keep I just said it, man. You ain't got to keep on saying it, man. You ain't got to keep on reminding us, man. Then you done typed it twice in the chat, man. Niners keep losing recent Super Bowl. Hey, Big J TV, man. Hey, we don't need your, I got love for you. You usually be making some good comments, man. But right now, man, we don't need that from you, man. We need your expert opinion in other areas, man. We don't need you to keep reminding us about the Niners, man. Yeah, if you're going to talk about the Niners, talk about them 5 Super Bowls that we won back in the day, man. You know what I mean? Yeah, talk about that legendary run with Joe Montana and Roger Craig and Ronnie Lott, and Jerry Rice and all that, man. Yeah, talk about them days, man, if you're going to talk about them Niners, man. See, then here come Rock Fresh, man. The 49ers came up short 3 times in 15 years. Hey, listen, man, come on, man. It's obvious. We ain't got to keep on talking about the obvious, man. You know what I mean? Like, put some respect on the Niners, man. You know? That's all I'm saying. Shit. Randy Moss, GOAT wide receiver. Yeah, if you say Randy Moss is the greatest receiver, I can't be mad at you, even though my favorite receiver play for guess who? The 49ers. You know what I mean? And guess who that receiver is, man? You know, in my opinion, man, he the Michael Jordan of football, man. Yeah, that boy, you know that boy Jerry Rice, you know what I mean, that number 80. Yeah, man. Coldest receiver. Who you know that run a 4.7? A 4.7 in the 40. And do as many legendary things in football as Jerry Rice, man. Come on, man. You know? Yeah, but, man, back to this OJ Simpson, man. Yeah, OJ, that dude, man. You know, they be trying to take away from him, but like somebody said earlier on this clip, you know, if you just talk about his days in football, man, you can't deny that OJ Simpson is legendary. You dig? And a lot of people, as they said also on this clip, you know, would agree that he's the MVP of the whole 1970s. If you have to pick a football player that's the MVP of that decade, Yeah, that's going to be O.J. Simpson, man. But let's continue with these highlights. You dig?
Expect him to break records.
O.J. Simpson, who just set a new National Football League record.
But you don't expect him to rush for 2,000 yards in a 14-game season, which is what the Juice did in 1973.
Right, come on,
This
man.
is probably the most remarkable single-season performance by any running back in the NFL.
O.J. is just remarkable every time he handles the ball.
He finished 859 yards ahead of the number 2 rusher. That's like winning a race, crossing the finish line, and the other guys are barely at the halfway point.
I just wonder if the three of us at this moment fully realize.
Why is this, I don't know why the video is glitching like that. But I got to play what dude just said again. Listen to what he just said.
Ahead of the number.
Hold on. Go back a little further.
Remarkable every time he handles the ball.
He finished 859 yards ahead of the number 2 rusher. That's like winning a race, crossing the finish line, and the other guys are barely at the half.
Listen to what he just said. That season when he rushed for 2,000 yards, the second closest player to him, or the closest player to him, which was the rush for the second most yards that season, OJ was 859 yards ahead of him. See, this is what you got to understand, man. Back in those days, if you rush for, if you're an NFL player and you rush for 859 yards, it ain't the greatest, but it ain't, you got to respect it. It's respectable. Man, he was 859 yards ahead of the number 2 rusher that year. That's crazy. You know what I mean? Like when you think about how Steph Curry is, with his 3-pointers, how many 3-pointers did he got? Like, I think when Steph Curry set that record for the most threes in the season, what was it like? What did he hit, like 300-something threes or 200-something threes? Something crazy. You know what I mean? Like, that's how this shit is. 859 yards ahead of the number 2 rusher. That's crazy. You know what I mean? You have to respect that.
I just wonder if the three of us at this moment fully realize what it has been our great privilege to watch O.J. Simpson run for
And see, hold on, I got to show that again. See, people don't even think about stuff like that. See, they was really playing outside back in them days. They was playing on real grass and snow and dirt and mud. They was playing in the rain. They was playing in the snow. You know what I mean? Sliding around and all that type of shit. In those days, he ran for 2,000 yards. That's crazy. Like, you got to really put things into context and think about how phenomenal that shit is, man. Games like this in the snow, where not only is it cold as hell, I know some of them games, man, it was probably so cold outside, their bones was aching. And then on top of that, you have to run in the snow. You know what I mean? Where, you can't really get your footing right like that. And he's still running for he's still rushing for 2,000 yards in the season. You know what I mean? Like, these players in today's times, they don't have to go through that. You know what I mean? They got these perfect fields that they playing on, and technology that made these fields to where, it's easier on their bodies and stuff like that. And that's great. But, man, you got to put some respect on OJ, man. For real. But let's continue.
privilege to watch O.J. Simpson run for 2,000 yards in one season.
With an on-field resume as good as they come, O.J. Simpson firmly sits as our number 3 Heisman winner.
When you talk about what he did in college, you could put him at the top. When you talk about the Heisman Trophy winners in the NFL, I mean, he's still pretty hot.
O.J. Simpson as a runner is as great as anybody. I mean, Jim Brown could pull you over. Barry Sanders might have had crazier moves, but I'll take OJ over any man who's ever done.
Next member of the running back class is OJ Simpson. The 1973 NFL MVP became the first member of the 2,000-yard single-season rushing club. He was also a 5-time All-Pro selection.
I know for a lot of people who will be watching this show, they'll know the story. But he was America's hero. I mean, he was on all the commercials. He was the guy that was front and center for the National Football League. So this was a pretty stunning fall from grace, right? But I'm going to talk just about football for a minute, because 2,000 yards in a 14-game season is off the charts. And in my mind, there really was only one player that you could really compare him to, someone that size, with that amount of wiggle, with those moves and that speed, and it's Jim Brown.
Tremendous speed, tremendous acceleration.
Yeah, cold, man. You know, so needless to say, OJ was a beast, man. You know, and then even after his football career, you know, he was one of them guys like how Jim Brown ended up being. You know, he ended up getting into acting. And I just got to play this commercial, because this commercial was the shit back in the day. Hey, man, if you ain't wiped your feet off at the door when you stepped into a pimp's domain, please do so now, man. Hit that like button. Yeah, OJ, man. You know, this type of stuff was legendary back in the day.
Winning throughout the nation as Hertz the superstar. We got the winning combination. Super people, super cars, making that extra effort to meet your special needs. Getting you in, getting you out with super speed. Hertz, the superstar in rent-a-car. Hertz, the superstar in rent-a-car.
You know it.
Yeah, man. Hey, you know, you got to think about too, like, man, he doing all that in a suit with some hard bottom shoes on, man. Running through the airport like that, man, jumping over shit and everything, man. OJ was cold, man. He was that dude, man. Oh, they got a whole bunch of commercials of OJ right here.
You want to be a winner, you got to have the tools. Sports and business is all the same. You got to know your opponent, and you got to know yourself. You got to train properly, you got to get your rest, and you better know what you're putting in your body.
New Power Burst, not just...
Yeah, check OJ out. You know what I mean? Talking about you got to know what you're putting in your body, man. You know, you got to be putting love in your body. Even though, you know, OJ was getting a check for this shit. But this, you know, this stuff right here do got a lot of hatred in it, though, man. That one hateful thing called sugar, man. This, you know, and I'm pretty sure this stuff got a lot of high fructose corn syrup and probably some other stuff in there that ain't cool for you. But, you know, OJ was doing his thing. He did the job he was paid to do. You did. But, you know, people didn't have a problem with OJ when they were utilizing him to market and promote their brands. You know what I mean? Just like how Michael Jordan did for Wheaties. You know, OJ Simpson did that for Hertz. And, you know, as you can see here, several other brands, man. You know? Yeah, with his name and likeness attached to things, man. He was one of them early people that was used in this kind of way. You dig? And probably wasn't paid nearly what he should have been paid. You know, as we know, just like in sports, music, movies, media, just entertainment, period, man. You know, back in them days, man, people was getting played. You know, people was getting paid crumbs, kibbles, and bits for the things that they was doing, man. And making people you know, making these corporations major money. You did? So, yeah, shout out to OJ for that, man.
The thirst quencher, but an advanced performance sports drink.
Why not be a winner?
And it's so cold because like you see the language that they use. Designed to enhance endurance, right? It's cold. And you know, ain't nobody there to challenge this. Ain't nobody there to scrutinize this. And then especially when you got OJ's name and likeness attached to this, you know, you're going to be thinking like, especially little kids. You know what I mean? When you a little kid back in these days and you see a commercial with some juice and you see OJ promoting it, you know, this big, strong, you know, athletic black man, you like, man, if OJ drinking it, then it must be good, you know? And it make other people want to drink it. This was like, you know, this was one of the things that was like a big thing for companies back then. You know, same thing with Wheaties. You know, ain't nobody thinking about Wheaties before Michael Jordan, but you know, when you see Michael Jordan, okay, damn, Michael Jordan eat this, then you know, shit, it might help me out. It might make me a better basketball player. Michael Jordan eating it. But yeah, let's continue.
Why not be a winner?
When my OJ first started traveling, I said, call me from the airport, collect. But the price I was paying. Well, now, OJ dials 1-800-COLLECT. These days, we talk more often than ever. OJ!
Damn, I ain't gonna lie. I almost forgot about these commercials, man. See, this take me back to my childhood, man. See, a lot of y'all don't remember 1-800-COLLECT. Hey, that's a throwback for real, man. 1-800-COLLECT. See, y'all don't even. Okay, so let me break it down to you. To, you know, some of you 90s babies might, you know, early 90s, y'all might be old enough to remember from when you was a little kid. But you 2000s babies, y'all for sure don't know nothing about this. If you born after the year 2000, from 2000 on, you don't know nothing about no collect calls, and you for sure don't know nothing about 1-800-COLLECT, man. But 1-800-COLLECT was like a thing where, because, you know, a collect call is like, you know, I know a lot of y'all ain't familiar because all you know is cell phones, smartphones, iPhones, Androids, Samsung, all the good shit, right? But back in the days, they had these things called payphones, right? And payphones would be posted up in public places, usually on places that had a lot of foot traffic. Like usually at 7-Eleven, you'll see a payphone in front of 7-Eleven, gas stations, you know, train stations, airport. Well, train stations and airports probably still got payphones. But, you know, they would be everywhere, man, like grocery stores, liquor stores. You know, they had payphones everywhere, right? And they were called payphones, as the name implies, because in order to use the phone to call somebody, call your loved one, friend, family, whatever, business partner, you know, the plug, la plaga, you did, whatever it was, you had to stick some change in that machine to be able to make a phone call. Local calls, I remember when I was little, local calls used to be like 25 cents. Then they went up to 35 cents to make a local call. Long distance calls was, I believe, 75 cents, depending on how far away the long distance call was. Like if you was in LA and you was calling somebody in San Bernardino on a payphone, the call was probably gonna be like 75 cents. And I believe that 75 cents gets you, I want to say 15 minutes. I might be wrong though. But, you know, and I forget how much the local calls was or how many minutes you get for 25 cents. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, they had payphones everywhere. So if you needed to make a call, man, and you didn't have no change to make this phone call, they had this thing called collect calls, where you make a call to somebody and it's charged to the person that you call. The person that you're calling pays for the call, right? So say, you know what I mean? Let's say I'm calling DeBell, right? You know, I just got out of jail, man, and I need to call DeBell, come pick me up from jail, right? And I ain't got no change, man. They ain't give me no, you know, I got out with no money, no change, no nothing, right? So I called DeBell's crib, right? push the buttons. The bell gonna answer the phone, and they gonna be like, yeah, you got to collect call from, it's your partner, man. And, it's on the bell to accept the call or not. Now, if the bell accept the call, then they going to charge him for the call. You dig? So that's how collect calls worked, right? So a lot of times, especially in the earlier days, you'll press 0 to make a collect call. You know what I mean? They'll put you on the phone with the operator. You tell the operator the phone number. They call that number, and they'll ask the person if they want to accept the call and accept the charges for the call. They say yes. That's how the collect call go through. Boom. Then they came with 1-800-COLLECT, and they had other ones too. But 1-800-COLLECT was real popular to make collect calls from because they was cheap. You know what I mean? The collect calls was a lot cheaper with 1-800-COLLECT. So people started using 1-800-COLLECT to make collect calls to people, right? So that's the history lesson for you 2000s babies. And even you late 90s babies, you know what I mean? They had 1-800-COLLECT back in the day. So seeing this commercial with OJ and his mama, man, it reminded me of back in the days, man, when they had payphones everywhere and people was using 1-800-COLLECT, man. And see, the messed up thing about it, though, when you was locked up, man, ain't no 1-800-COLLECT in jail, man. You know what I mean? 1-800-COLLECT had the streets on lock, but they didn't have the jails on lock, man. So if you was in jail, man, you use whatever, every jail had different, like they had MCI, long distance. I'm having a brain fart right now, man. I can't remember the other long distances, right? But see, I just remember MCI because, they had Sprint long distance. See, before Sprint was a cell phone company, Sprint was a long distance company. You dig? So they had Sprint long distance, they had MCI long distance. They had certain companies that were just strictly long distance companies, right? So when I went to prison in 2004, it was messed up because I was in Corcoran. In Corcoran State Prison, you could make collect calls because in jail you only make collect calls. Later on, they came with calling cards. You could buy a calling card off the commissary, but them calling cards was ridiculous. Man, I remember when LA County first came with them calling cards, man, and I think you could pay $10 for a calling card. But man, that $10, boy, that shit get ate up so fast. They was out of line for that shit, man. But people was paying for it because that's how seriously they wanted to call their loved ones. But anyway, in Corcoran, you can only make collect calls, and the people that you called, they had to have MCI long distance. If they didn't have MCI long distance, then you couldn't call that person. You know what I mean? And it was messed up for me because I only knew one person that had MCI long distance. This little chick that I was cool with before I went to the joint. You know what I mean? I knew her from high school. Me and her was, talking, rocking with each other and everything. And she used to come visit me and hold me down. She'll ride up with my pops, because Corcoran is like a 3.5 hour ride from Long Beach. My pops will go scoop her up and they'll come visit me and stuff like that. But she was the only person I knew with MCI long distance. She stayed with her parents. Her parents didn't really like Freeze, man. So Freeze couldn't call the house, man, because hell no, they ain't finna pay for this boy. He a jailbird. He ain't finna call my baby on my phone and I'm paying for the call. Hell no. You know what I mean? So I couldn't call Tiffany, man. Shout out to Tiffany, man. Tiffany, she was good peoples, man. She's still good peoples, but I couldn't call Tiffany, man, because Tiffany parents wasn't feeling Freeze, man. And they the only people I knew that had MCI, man. So I couldn't call nobody when I was in jail. It was just letters and visits. That's it. But I say all that to say, man, when I seen this commercial with OJ and his mom, 1-800-COLLECT, it just took me back, man. I started having flashbacks, man. But let's continue.
1-800-COLLECT.
Hold on, man. Did y'all see OJ's mama jumping up? That's for those of y'all who don't know, man. This is OJ mama, man. Did y'all see how OJ mama was jumping over them couches? OJ mama was cold. Now y'all see where he got it from, man. Y'all just thought OJ just, he was just, athletic like that just because. No, man, OJ, he, like that old song go, she get it from her mama. Yeah, OJ got it from his mama, man. You seen the first commercial, the Hearst commercial, man, where OJ was jumping over turnstiles and counters and things like that, jumping over chairs and stuff, to get to that Hearst rental car place. Yeah, man, OJ moms was a beast with the athleticism too, as y'all gonna see. Look, she start off in the garden, she got her little gardening gloves on. She's spraying her, trees in the garden, things like that. You just think she a little sweet old lady. But nah, OJ mama was athletic, man. That's where he get it from, man. Check it out.
Price I was paying. Well, now, OJ dials 1-800-COLLECT. These days, we talk more often than ever. OJ!
1-800-COLLECT. Dial it instead of 0 the next time you call someone collect.
Oh, I'm getting along.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Mrs. Simpson, man. OJ's mama, man. God rest her soul, man. As y'all can see, man, she wasn't no slouch when it came to the athleticism neither, man. But let's continue.
Some people love cola so much they can't stop drinking it. And for them, there's RC. With RC, you get a great cola taste that's easy on the syrup, easy on the gas. So it doesn't feel like too much. Right, OJ? RC, a great cola taste that's easy on the syrup, easy on the gas. For people like OJ Simpson, who can't stop drinking cola.
Nobody does it better than her.
Nobody does it better. Hertz leads the others by far. Nobody does it best of all. You Hertz, the superstar.
Check out OJ suited and booted, though. You know what I mean? See, a lot of people don't understand that, like the casual clothes that a lot of us wear in today's times, that's a relatively new thing, man. I'm pretty sure in the 1800s, which is the 19th century, and definitely in the first half of the 20th century, 1900 to 1950, man, even up until the 70s, man, a lot of people wore suits everywhere. Some people wore suits just every day. That was just like regular attire, man. And a lot of the ladies wore dresses back in them days, man. So, yeah, and then especially, see, it was a big thing. If you talk to anybody who was around in the 70s, the 60s, even the 80s, and probably, some of the 90s is probably still a thing. But, people didn't, like now, I guarantee you, if you work at the airport, man, you know what I'm talking about. But I guarantee you, if you go to airport terminals all over the country right now, man, you're going to see chicks with bonnets on. You're going to see guys with pajamas and hoodies on, sandals and things like that. Back in these days, man, people didn't go to the airport like that. People dressed up when they went to the airport. When they was going to catch a flight, people got dressed, man. Like how you see OJ right here dressed up in a suit. That's how people went to the airport, man. I still fly like that often. And all the time, when I come across them older flight attendants, they always tell me, like, sir, you look so nice. People just don't, back in the days, people always dressed up going to the airport, but they just don't do that anymore. So I really appreciate, the fact that you dressed up. I get that all the time, man. And anybody else, like who wears suits on a regular basis, you know what I'm talking about, man. If you in today's times, or even as a woman, if you a woman that get dressed up and you wear heels and, you dress classy, you know what I mean? Whether it's like a professional, like a business type suit, or, a classy dress, you know what I mean? Just some classy attire, period, for a woman. That's it's just a good look, man. And it feels good. A lot of people probably, now that I think about it, man, I know a lot of y'all probably ain't never even done that before. A lot of y'all probably ain't never, been dressed up, getting on a flight, suited and booted. Or, like I said, a woman, with some heels on and a nice dress, your attire is on point. Yeah, it's a good feeling, man. So, yeah. But OJ doing that and he jumping over things in the airport with hard bottoms on, man. I'm tripping off. I wonder how many takes he done did to get this commercial right, man. I wonder if he slipped. Because, them hard bottoms, man, on certain surfaces, man, like them airport floors, them tile floors that be getting buffed on a regular basis, man. Hey, it's real easy to slip and bust your ass on them floors, man. So, yeah, OJ's agility. But, that come from them days of rushing for 2,000 yards in a 14-game season in the mud, in the rain, in the snow, and all that, you know what I mean? So he still got it. Even though this is after his football days, but he still got it, you dig?
Nobody has more of what it takes to rid you of Fairmont, Mustang, LTD, or other fine car faster.
Hertz, the superstar.
You know it.
And see, like you see them cars, right? You see them cars, man, that they were showing. That's what a lot of people don't understand. Like back in these days, like in the 70s and the 80s. Hold on a second. Okay. Back in the 70s and 80s and stuff like that, right? You had foreign cars. People was driving foreign cars, but, everybody didn't have Mercedes and BMW. Those wasn't like the premier cars to have. Back in them days, it was all about Cadillacs and Lincolns, man. If you was driving a Cadillac or if you was driving a Lincoln, you were considered, upper middle class to upper class. You dig? So just look at the cars that he pointing out. Those was respectable cars to be driving back in them days. Even though I didn't see him say nothing about Cadillacs and Lincolns, but those was like decent cars to have back in the days. Now you'll probably look at somebody like, that's regular. But yeah, times was just a lot simpler back then. But it was cool when times was simpler. You dig?
Nobody has more of what it takes to rid you of Fairmont, Mustang, LTD, or other fine car faster.
Hertz, the superstar.
You know it.
This computer is the...
What's it cost to be a winner in Florida? As little as $69 a week.
Everybody loves the winner. Only the winner can really make things happen.
In Florida, you can rent a car from number one at a bargain price. Just $69 a week rents an air-conditioned subcompact from Hertz, and no charge for mileage.
Hey, just think about that, man. Like, just think about how far we done came, man. You got OJ on here promoting Hertz, and he talking about an air-conditioned car. Like, like air-conditioned, that was like one of the luxury features back then. You know what I mean? Now, air conditioned, that was like a luxury thing back then, or, powered windows. See, y'all 2000s babies, again, like I said, some of you 90s babies, you probably, it was still kind of normal when y'all was little kids, especially early 90s. When y'all was little kids, you might have been in a car where you had to roll the windows up by hand. You know what I mean? Now every car has powered windows. But that was like some luxury shit back in these days, man. Air conditioning, powered windows, powered seats, stuff like that, man. It wasn't normal back in these days. This back when they had 8-track players in the car, cassette players, in the car. CD players wasn't even a thing back in, CD players wasn't even probably thought of back then, But yeah, man. Shout out to OJ.
Everybody loves the winner. Everybody.
Hey, OJ, I know people go to Hertz for terrific service. But off the record, where do you go for a terrific price?
Hertz.
Come on, you can level with me.
Arnie, Hertz prices are lower than you think. And now with their new low daily economy fares, their prices are competitive with anybody's.
Anybody's?
You got it, Arnie.
I wish I could say the same for you, OJ.
Hertz, the #1 way to rent a car.
13. Yeah, that must have been.
Hey, OJ, you sure enjoy that Golden Pioneer chicken.
That must have been early in OJ's golfing days, man, because, you know, OJ, you know, he got into golfing, and that was like his thing later in life, man. But, you know, that had to be early in his golf days because he wasn't the shit out right there, obviously.
Oh, yeah, I love it. As much as I love Pioneer's new country spicy chicken. The Golden Pioneer chicken has a crispy, crunchy taste.
Hey, shout out to Pioneer's Chicken, man. See, y'all don't know, man. See, they still have a Pioneer's Chicken. I think they got like I know for sure they got one location that's still around, Pioneer's Chicken. But back in the 80s, man, hey, man, see, let me take y'all back, man. You hop in a time machine with a pimp, man. We gonna take a trip back to the 80s, man, in Los Angeles County, man, LA County back in them 1980s, man. You know, we had this spot called Pioneer's Chicken, which OJ is doing a commercial for right here, man. But Pioneer's Chicken was the shit, man, you know, back in them days. They had Church's Chicken. Church's was good, too. You know, KFC, it wasn't even KFC back then. It was still called Kentucky Fried Chicken. It wasn't called KFC back then. It was called Kentucky Fried Chicken. Yeah, eloquence is key. I believe you're right on Pico and like, I want to say it's like Pico and Soto. Or if it ain't on Soto, it's like somewhere in that area. I think it's like on the east side, like East LA somewhere. But yeah, Pioneer's Chicken was all over the place back then, though. At least on the West Coast, California, we had Pioneer's Chicken everywhere. But Pioneer's Chicken was the thing. You know what I mean? So far as chicken spots, yeah, it was Pioneer's Chicken, man. As far as grocery stores, we had Boys Market. You know what I mean? And then like kind of like a department store, kind of like it's kind of like a Ross back in them days, but we had JJ Newberry's. You know what I mean? That was like a store where you could go get some clothes or, you know, various different items and things like that, man. But yeah, man, you know, the 80s it was a cool time, man. Shout out to the 80s, you dig? I could go on and on. I could make a whole video about the 80s, man, but we ain't going to do that because we celebrating OJ right now, you dig? But let's continue.
But country spicy's a whole new way to love chicken.
Well, at least you both agree on Pioneer's new buttermilk biscuits.
Who wouldn't? They're baked fresh in Pioneer's own ovens, fluffy to give you mouth-watering taste. Why, they're almost as good as my mama's. Your mama.
The taste America loves best, Pioneer.
Mama never told me about you.
Hey, OJ, why are you so happy? It's Monday, but everybody hates Mondays.
Not me, because Pioneer's NFL Monday Night Football specials are back.
You get 2 pieces of delicious Pioneer chicken with mashed potatoes and gravy for $1.29.
That's crazy. 2 pieces of chicken. Hey, that's how you know inflation has done a whole lot between now and then. 2 pieces of chicken with mashed potatoes and gravy for $1.29. That's how you know this is back in the day. Man.
8 pieces with large mashed potatoes and gravy for only $4.99. Why?
8 pieces of chicken with large mashed potatoes and gravy. What'd he say? $4.99? Hold on, let's go back. Look at OJ. He got a whole back seat. He got a whole car, a drop top for Pioneer's Chicken. But yeah, 8 pieces of chicken with a large mashed potatoes and a large gravy for $4.99. Boy, you was on with all that, feeding the whole family.
Gravy for only $4.99. Why so many, OJ? Some of my friends have appetites like bears, like lions, like cowboys, like raiders, like giants, like buccaneers.
Summertime. Great for relaxing with friends and enjoying Pioneer's Summer Fun Special. You get 8 large pieces of golden Pioneer chicken, mashed potatoes, gravy, and coleslaw for just $6.99. And Pioneer's even got free coupons for a Universal Studios tour, with the biggest discounts including a free admission. There's exciting attractions like Transformers Base Camp, 2010 Spacewalk, and much more. Of course, Pioneer Chicken Summer Fun Special for $6.99 is a great way to make new friends, right, fellas?
Hey, man, Universal Studios was the shit back in the days, too, man. See, they got all kind of rides and stuff now, but, you know, I remember I want to say that was the first roller coaster they had at Universal Studios was Back to the Future, man. They had a Back to the Future ride back then, and that was like a major thing when that came around. That was like early 90s, like probably 92 or 93. You know what I mean? They came with the Back to the Future ride. It was just like, wow. But, you know, it was just cool back then, man, to go and see where they filmed all the TV shows that was popular back then, where they filmed Gilligan's Island, where they filmed, you know, Andy Griffin and, you know, all them type of shows that was popular back then. They'll, you know, take you on a tour to, you know, the set where they filmed, where A-Team was filmed, you know what I mean? You can see the A-Team van and all that type of stuff. You know, it was just cool back in the days. But, you know, just seeing this remind me of back in the days when like coupons was a big thing. You can get a coupon, it'll give you a discount to the amusement parks and stuff like that. The good old days. You dig?
Here, put these on. They won't recognize us.
Welcome to Hertz. I'd know you guys even without the American Express card.
See, I told you these glasses wouldn't work.
Uh-oh, now we'll never get out of here.
I guess they're here for Hertz, not us. $99 a week for a Hertz car in Florida?
Damn, $99 a week. That's cold. You barely could get a rental for $99 a day nowadays. Man, I'm telling you, man, this is like flashback for real. $99 for a week. You know what I mean? That's like, you might as well say $400 for a month. You know, and it's probably even cheaper if you get it for a month because that's how things go. Usually the longer you get something, the cheaper it is. But let's just say $400 a month for a rental. Shit, man, that's a car note nowadays. Nowadays, you get a rental for a month, it's going to be $1,000. The good old days.
Especially with all the Hertz services.
Arnie, OJ.
At least someone wants our autograph.
The American Express card? Don't leave home without it.
Hertz, the #1 way to rent a car.
Why did Hertz invent #1 Club Gold service? To beat the rush hour. See, every plane and everybody seems to land at once. But with Gold service, there's no stopping at the counters and no paperwork.
And you notice how, as he's walking through the airport, not only is OJ suited and booted, but everybody is suited and booted. It was a normal thing back
to your
then.
waiting car.
Look at everybody. Everybody got on suits, man. Everybody getting off the shuttle bus got on suits.
Name and lights. Only Hertz has #1 Club Gold. The best reason yet beats the rush hour. To Hertz, the rest of the day is a piece of cake.
But yeah, man, it's a whole lot more commercials with OJ on them, man. But needless to say, man, you can see that OJ was the dude back in the day, man. And then, you know, not only did he have a whole lot of commercials back then, but he had movies, man, like The Naked Gun. Hey, listen, for you youngsters, because I know a lot of y'all probably ain't familiar with Naked Gun, with OJ Simpson and Leslie Nielsen. When you just got some time, man, look at The Naked Gun. You know, I believe OJ was in the first 2 Naked Guns. He for sure is in the first one. I don't think he was in the third one. But, yeah, man, The Naked Gun was hilarious back in the day. And OJ was doing his thing with the acting when it came to that. You know, so, you know, he was just that dude, man. He was just that dude that he was like a hero that everybody loved and admired and looked up to back in them days, man. You know, and just imagine, you know, how it was being from Frisco, being from San Francisco, where he's from. You know what I mean? Just imagine being from the projects that he came from as a little kid, watching him play in the NFL, and then later on watching him on commercials and movies and stuff like that. You know, and becoming a sports announcer with football and stuff like that. You know, just imagine being a little kid playing football in the streets, man, coming from the projects that he come from, man. OJ inspired a whole lot of people. You know, he was one of them people that when you was a little kid, that's who you wanted to be when you grow up. You wanted to be like OJ Simpson, man. So, yeah, man, you know, I just had to take a moment, man, to honor and recognize and celebrate OJ. And, you know, it's crazy because a lot of people, man, got some crazy things to say about OJ. And, you know, how long we been on now? Okay, we've been on for almost 2 hours, so, you know, we done spent a good amount of time celebrating OJ, and the celebration is going to continue. But I have to address certain things, man. Got to address certain things, man. We don't need to see that. We don't need to see you shaking your ass, Miss Lady. Trying to find, where is this shit at? Damn, where is it at? I know it's on here somewhere. You know, a lot of people was hating on OJ. That's one thing, but I'm gonna get to that after I get to the first one. Hold on. Trying to find, it was this one post. Okay, yeah. This is, look how disrespectful people are, man. This is just the internet for you, man. These is, you know, OJ Simpson trends following his passing. Social media users share mixed reactions. So RIP to Juice, the reaction from the OJ verdict. Hey, this was cold. I ain't gonna lie. This took me back to my teenage years, man, when the innocent verdict was. Let me see if I can find that. Before we get to that, let me see. Let me see if they got the video on here. I'm sure they do. Wait. Yeah, this was something else, man. Like, man, if you was around back in these days, you remember, man. I think this is the whole video of the verdict being read. Let's take a look. Man, I don't know why. My hold on a second. Let me do this real quick. I think I got too many things running at, even though I don't have a lot of stuff running right now. I'm like wondering why my video is glitching. But let's see. That might have helped. Hold on. Listen, man, if you ain't wiped your feet off at the door when you step into a pimp's domain, please do so now. Hit that like button while we honor and pay respects to the legendary America's own OJ Simpson. You did.
Mr. Simpson, would you please stand and face the jury?
We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant Orenthal James Simpson not guilty of the crime of murder in violation of Penal Code Section 187A, a felony upon Nicole Brown Simpson, a human being, as charged in Count 1 of the information. We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant Orenthal James Simpson not guilty of the crime of murder in violation of Penal Code Section 187A, a felony upon Ronald Lyle Goldman, a human being, as charged in Count 2 of the information.
Despite warnings from Judge Ito to remain calm, the families were overwhelmed. Ron Goldman's father sat stunned. His mother and sister sobbed.
And let me say this, right? First of all, you know, rest in peace to Nicole Brown Simpson. Rest in peace to Ron Goldman. You know, I send my condolences to their families. But, you know, these times was crazy, man, because you really saw how divided people were. You know, the minorities, you know, people in the hood. Hey, man, we was rooting for OJ real hard, man. You know, everybody was like rooting for OJ. So we was celebrating. But, you know, them other people, man, they was really upset about it. You know, they don't respond to things like we do. Like when the Rodney King verdict, it just gives you an idea how different reactions are, right? Now, when the Rodney King verdict was made known to the public, when that was read out, and the people who were charged in the beating of Rodney King, the officers who were charged, when they were found innocent, not guilty, you know, obviously we was in a rage. The ghetto, especially in LA, both of these situations took place in LA. So LA County, man, was off the chain. You know, we rioted because we felt like, you know, justice wasn't served on behalf of Rodney King. And, you know, he's one of us. He from the black community. So it was a black man that was beaten on video by LAPD officers, Foothill Division, in Lakeview Terrace / Pacoima, that little area over there, right? Rodney King was beaten on video back when, you know, things weren't just on video like that. It just so happened that somebody had their camcorder. You know, they had things called camcorders back then, which was a video camera, and it was kind of big, and it was something that you just didn't fire it up like you do the camera on your phone. You know, it'd take a second to get all that together and turn the camera on and press record and all that type of stuff. And, you know, it had to have batteries charged. And, you know, it was just, and the battery life wasn't nothing like a cell phone. So, and you had to put a big tape. Usually in those, later on, they came with camcorders where you didn't have to put like a big old tape in, but you had to put a big tape inside the camera. It was just, you know, it wasn't that simple. So for somebody to record that in 1991 was very unusual. But these guys were filmed. LAPD officers were filmed beating the dog shit out of Rodney King. And, you know, the officers on that case were found not guilty. So the black community's response to that was to go crazy, to tear the city up. You dig? Because we felt like justice wasn't served. Now, fast forward a few years later to 1995, when OJ Simpson, who wasn't recorded on camera, you know, of the crimes that he was charged with, when he's found innocent, you know, the community of the victims, just like Rodney King, you know, we're his community. Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman, their community, the white community, they didn't respond in the same way that we did. You dig? So unlike with Rodney King, we was celebrating when OJ won. So you got to think about that. You know, we felt like justice wasn't served with Rodney King. So, you know, with the OJ Simpson situation, it's a W, not just for him and not just for his family, but, man, for black people, period. Man, across the country, we was celebrating. You dig? And it wasn't like, I know some people probably looked at it like the black community was celebrating the demise of the victims. But no, it's like, you know, we done took so many L's, man, like to get a W like that, man. See, what you got to understand, like the OJ Simpson trial, hey, that was the case of the century. There was no case in the 20th century that was bigger than that. That was bigger than the OJ Simpson trial. Man, that shit was big. It was the biggest thing. Like how I told you earlier, when a Michael Jordan basketball game was on, or when a Mike Tyson fight was on, everybody is, you know, glued to the TV. It was the same thing with the OJ case, man. Anytime, because it was televised, a lot of it. You know what I mean? Anytime it was any coverage of the OJ Simpson case going on, man, everybody is glued to the TV. So I remember when the OJ verdict was read, I think I was like 13 going on 14 years old. And my mom was in the process of moving. And we was moving the last stuff out of the townhouse that we was living in at the time. We was moving the last bit of stuff out, so the apartment was, or the townhouse or whatever, you know, it was pretty much empty. We was moving the last bit of stuff out of there. Only thing we had in there was like, you know, probably some milk crates and a TV. We had to have a TV in there because we was, you know, everybody trying to see the verdict. And man, I'll never forget. We was sitting in that little empty room with the TV on the floor, watching that OJ verdict, man, and we was just like, we couldn't believe it, man. And you could hear people all over the neighborhood screaming. It was like, wow. You know what I mean? It was a trip. And anybody who was around back in the days, you know what I'm talking about. You did, even if you wasn't from LA, because everybody all over the country was watching that. You know what I mean? Even people probably in the South, Atlanta, Chicago, Miami, New York, New Jersey, Philly, DMV, everywhere, man. Texas, you know, Arkansas, Kentucky, everywhere, man. You know, if you was black, man, you was celebrating. But everybody all over the country was watching. We was glued to the TV. Wasn't nobody outside. You know what I mean? Or if you was outside, you was listening to the radio, because radio was still a big thing back then. I know a lot of people don't think about radio in terms of news. It's still some people that like listen to like XM radio or Sirius radio to get news like that. But it was a lot bigger back then. The radio was like still a big source for information, a big outlet, you dig, because it wasn't no internet at the time. Or it was an internet, but it wasn't like something that everybody had. So yeah, man, it was a trip. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, like Bill from the DMV, and he talking about they was going crazy over there. Hey, we was going crazy, man. Everybody was celebrating, man, when OJ got found not guilty. Boy, man, that was like a big W for the community. And like I said, I know that, you know, other communities was probably looking at it like we was celebrating the demise of the victims, but it wasn't that. It was just like, you know, we've been taking L's for so long. We ain't never had a W like that. That was, for us, that was bigger than the Super Bowl. It was bigger than the World Series. It was bigger than the NBA Finals. Hey, that shit was big. That was a big W for us. You know what I mean? Like I said, Rodney King situation, we tearing shit up. What? Rodney King got whooped on by the police on camera, and y'all found them people not? Oh man, we tearing shit up. But oh, okay, OJ innocent. Yeah, OJ not guilty. Man, shit, we was celebrating, man. That was a big deal at the time, man. So, you know, this is the trip part about it, right? Like, fast forward to now, and this was like a lot of people's sentiment even back in those days, you know. Look at the reactions. I want y'all to pay attention to the reactions of people back at that time when the verdict was being read. That was a TV in Times Square. You dig? And this is how it was. You see how everybody is sitting in that, it looked like probably a gym or a auditorium or something. You know, they all sitting, you know, in this room. Everybody glued to the TV. Look at that.
Mrs. Robinson. Superior Court of California, County of Los Angeles, in the matter of the people of the state of California versus Orenthal James Simpson, case number BA097211. We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant, Orenthal James Simpson, not guilty of the crime. Penal Code Section 187.
You see the white lady, she like, she mad as hell. You know, she probably want to punch somebody, but she outnumbered. You know what I mean? She probably want to get off on somebody like, sit your ass down, celebrating and yelling and shit. Screw y'all. Who want to step outside and run my fade? That's what she got that look on her face. She want to run somebody fade, man, but it's too many of them, man. She gonna be fading for the rest of her life if she try to fade everybody one at a time. But she mad. You can see it all in her face. Look at how everybody's celebrating though. You see that, like how they all like everybody.
Mrs. Robinson.
Superior Court of California, County of Los Angeles, in the matter of the people of the state of California versus Orenthal James Simpson, case number BA097211. We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant, Orenthal James Simpson, not guilty of the crime. Penal Code Section 187.
Damn. Okay. And see, I remember them days, man. Like I said, I remember in real time that celebration, man. And see, you got, like, if you just look at the reactions of people, it's a clear indication of how, like how things were back then. You know what I mean? Like, we have been taking so many L's left and right as a people. Man, just to be able to get like a little sliver of victory, it was just, you know, major celebration. You dig? So it just goes to show you how times were back then. But look at how people are nowadays, right? I'm sure people in this Jamel Hill, shout out to Jamel Hill, she's cool. I'm sure people on this app will be very responsible with the news that OJ Simpson has died. She's probably, I don't know if she called herself being sarcastic because she know people ain't gonna do that, but she was just making that statement. R.I.P. OJ, I'm glad he no longer has to live in fear. You see how people are, and he's saying that because OJ Simpson won't go to L.A. because I might run into the real killer. And look at how they talk about him. But, you know, it is what it is. This dude right here, man, and it's sad because this dude, Mark Lamont Hill, he's a very articulate, educated, well-spoken brother. But I just don't like when people like us do this type of stuff, man. Make statements like this. OJ Simpson is dead. Do not make him a hero or a martyr. OJ Simpson was an abusive, I could just hear him in his little punk ass voice. OJ Simpson was an abusive liar and abandoned his community long before he killed those two people in cold blood. His acquittal for murder was the correct and necessary result of a racist criminal legal system. But he's still a monster, not a martyr. So, like, dude, come on, man. Like I said, see, this is the thing. Like, dude, you done committed some sins too. You ain't no young man. You know, Mark Lamont Hill, I'm pretty sure, I want to say he's like in his mid to upper 40s. So, you know, you done committed quite a few sins in your life too. You might not have committed the same sins as OJ, but you done committed some sins now, dude. And then, whether you like it or not, he was found not guilty. You know? Just like, I mean, we don't like the verdict of the Trayvon Martin case with George Zimmerman, but if you ask any of those people, hey, man, you have all this stuff to say about George Zimmerman, man, but hey, he was found innocent. That means he didn't do it. The court found him not guilty. That means he did not do it. Why would they find him not guilty if he did it? They found him not guilty because he did not do it, okay? So, on the same token, man, hey, listen, man. What Nino Brown say? Hold on, I gotta play that clip, man. Hold on. Let me find one. I need to okay, hold on. I gotta play this clip, man. This is how I feel about people that's mad about OJ's verdict still. It's almost 30 years later. Hold on. Hold on. Damn, I don't know why my
Mr. Brown, did you hear the state senators? Did you sell out the CMB? Mr. Brown, are you pleased with the outcome?
Absolutely. I think the American justice system is the greatest in the world. Proud to be an American. Hi, Mom.
That's how I feel about, the situation with OJ too, but that ain't the part. Hold on. It might be on here. Hold on.
CMB.
Where is it at, man? I need to find that part. Oh, here it go. See, in this situation, just picture a white person, against OJ Simpson, and then picture Nino Brown as like OJ Simpson.
What? All he gets is a year? No, this shit ain't happening. I should have killed you myself, bitch.
See, that's the difference between you and me. Don't get mad, Tito. It's the law.
Hold on. That's my part right there. Don't get mad, Tito. It's the law.
Don't get mad, Tito. It's the law.
That face right there, you know what I mean? That's how I feel right now, you know what I mean? Like they mad at OJ, man, but don't get mad at OJ. It's the law. You know what I mean? So just remember that face, man. Whenever you hear somebody, they mad about the OJ verdict and all that type of stuff, man, don't get mad. It's the law. For real, though. You know what I mean? Because that's what y'all going to say when somebody get mad about the George Zimmerman situation. Don't get mad. It's the law. You know what I mean? So on the same token, when it come to OJ, man, don't get mad. It's the law. But just look at some of these things that people said. I'm sick as F. OJ Simpson died without confessing he killed that lady. Now we'll never know. Come on, man.
If you promise that you will not ask me another question about the case.
I will never ask you again.
We won't have to talk about it anymore.
Just did you do it?
No, I didn't. Nope. Did not do it.
After we finished filming, OJ said to me that he had a surprise for me, and I genuinely was surprised. I think it was his idea of a joke. And this is it.
If you promise.
I can't lie, man. OJ an asshole for that, man. OJ, he was cold for that. I can't lie. But don't get mad. It's the law. And then AB says, nigga of the day, RIP to the legendary OJ. Hey, man, and shout out to AC Cowlins, man, Al Cowlins, man. Yeah, man, shout out to him, man, because that was OJ's ride or die partner, man. The AC, he played football with OJ, and he was from San Francisco just like OJ, man. AC still with us, man. Shout out to AC, man, because he was a solid homie. You know what I mean? He was like, come on, OJ, jump in with me, let's go. You know what I mean? He was the getaway driver, man. He was the ride or die. And then just look at how big this shit was. Look at how big of a deal this was, man. It was on the news. It was a slow speed chase, not a high speed chase, a low speed chase. But these are people on the freeway. This is the 5 freeway, I believe, or no, this got to be the 405 because that way going south, I think that's what that is. Or maybe they might be going. Yeah, I think that's what it is. These people in traffic on the right are northbound, and this chase right here with AC Cowlins, Al Cowlins, and OJ, they're going south. But look at the people in the northbound side of the freeway. everybody jumped out their cars because they knew OJ was coming. Everybody jumped out their cars to look. See, back then it wasn't no camera phones, unfortunately. So in today's times, a situation like this, everybody would have pulled out their camera phones. But, back then, everybody just stopped just so OJ could see them rooting for him, because that's what they was doing. Everybody was like, go OJ, go. You know what I mean? They was cheering for OJ. So, some people even had signs. You can't see no signs right here. But, these people was rooting for OJ, man. They was hoping for him to get away, which obviously, as we know, he didn't. But that's how big of a deal it was, man. These people stopped on the freeway. Anybody who done been on these freeways in LA, that's a big deal, man. That's how people was really into it. To stop on the freeway, to stop traffic, and ain't nobody tripping because everybody want to see OJ come past in this low-speed chase from the police. Yeah, it's a big deal, man.
I'm about to show my...
Yeah, they celebrating. And then, see, this is one of the ones that I have the biggest problem with. His mama name him Bruce. I'm going to call him Bruce. But Bruce Jenner, right? He say good riddance, OJ Simpson. Now, for those of y'all who've been here earlier on in this live, you remember me saying something about the pot calling the kettle black? It's the reason why I said that, man. Now, you have here Bruce Jenner, who says good riddance to OJ Simpson. Like basically he's rejoicing that OJ has passed away, right? And I'm pretty sure it's because I believe Bruce Jenner knew Nicole Brown Simpson. He probably was cool with her. But, Caitlyn Jenner responds to those who criticize her reaction to OJ Simpson's passing. Why were they criticizing Bruce Jenner about him saying good riddance to OJ? I know y'all think it's cute. And let me say it in his or her or its voice. I don't know what the pronoun is. So let me say it in its voice. I know you all think it's cute to compare a fatal car accident with multiple vehicles involved, not just mine, to a brutal murder. But remember, OJ said something to the effect of, I could kill her, Nicole, and get away with it because I'm OJ Simpson. Like, what are you talking about to the effect of? Like, if you can't quote him verbatim, don't talk about what he said something to the effect of. Dude, you know what I mean? And yeah, you was involved in a car accident at which you were faulted. You were at fault. People died in that car accident. And, a judgment was settled against you. And as it says here, you had to pay $800,000. Why? Because you for sure wasn't innocent in that fatal car crash. Yeah. So you was responsible for somebody dying too, man. So, but OJ's thing was brutal. So it's okay because as long as you didn't brutally kill somebody, you know what I mean? You just kind of, a little bit. And there was a comment right here. Where that comment at? It was a comment that I seen. It was that had me. It was like the perfect comment. Where's that shit at? They go, Mr. Man, please tuck and go to bed. They outrageous for these comments, man. But it was one comment that was just like perfect. Right, comparing how you kill someone is crazy. Exactly, man. Man, it was a perfect comment. Where is that comment at, man? It like hit the nail right on the head. I might have passed it. They out of line, man. Hey, the internet is wild with the comments, man. Keep his name out your mouth, Mrs. Doubtfire. Oh, man, they out of line. I'm trying to find the comment that I seen, man. It was just so on point. But, it's probably somewhere lost in the shuffle at this point. But, yeah, man, like I said, that's what I got a problem with. I don't like how, you of all people, this is why I say all the time, man, they should make it where you have to be licensed to be on social media because it's a big responsibility, especially when you somebody like a Bruce Jenner with, a big name and a lot of people value your opinion. You got to be responsible with it. And, dude, you took somebody's life. You deleted somebody with your car. Come on, man. Like, you the last person, and you for sure did that. Like, with OJ, it's debatable. But then again, it's not debatable because it's the law. And the law says that OJ didn't kill nobody. So guess what, man? Put some respect on the law. You dig? Y'all want to respect the law in every other case, man. When all these police brutality cases, these officers who done killed people on camera and all kind of crazy stuff get found innocent and all that, you want to respect the law then. But when little bitty OJ Simpson get found not guilty, it's a problem. Come on, man. If you're going to respect it, respect it. And you, for sure, took somebody's life, dude. So you the last person that should be saying anything about OJ, man. Leave that alone. You dig? Don't say nothing about no OJ. But but yeah, man. Bottom line, OJ, was he perfect? No. Was he a human being like the rest of us? Yes. So did he make mistakes? Did he commit sins like everybody who has ever lived, with the exception of Jesus Christ? Yes. Yes, he did. You know what I mean? Everybody who's watching, everybody who ain't watching, everybody who everybody who I knows, including myself and yourselves, we all have one thing in common. As the scripture says, none of us are good. Not one. Ain't none of us good. You dig? As long as we in the flesh, man, we all gonna be imperfect, and we all gonna make mistakes, and we all gonna commit sins, man. So, it's real easy for people like Mark Lamont Hill. It's very easy for people like Bruce Jenner to, get on the internet and, say some things that, they don't really have to be held accountable for. But hey, man, those of us with a brain know y'all ain't no better, especially Bruce Jenner. Like, you really need to be quiet, dude. Close your mouth, because you took somebody's life just like he did. Or like you think he did. Let me correct myself, excuse me, because it's the law, and the law says OJ didn't take nobody's life, so OJ didn't take nobody's life. But, Bruce Jenner, man, you took somebody's life for sure. The court of law, just like they found OJ not guilty, they found you guilty, man. And that's why you had to give up some money. You dig? And if you was just a regular person who didn't have money and fame, you would probably be sitting in jail right now for a very long time, because you took somebody's life behind that wheel. Yeah, if you didn't have money and fame and influence and connections and all that kind of good stuff, you more than likely would be sitting in somebody's jumpsuit, in somebody's cell, eating top ramen with tortillas and cheese spread and Vienna sausages and all that type of good stuff, man. That's what your life would be if you wasn't Bruce or Caitlyn or whatever you want to call it, Jenner. If you wasn't that person, that's what your fate would be right now. So, yeah, man, leave OJ alone, man. Let him rest in peace. He gone now, man. Whatever he did to you, Bruce, he can't do it no more, man. You know, however he hurt your feelings, however he offended you, he ain't here no more, man. He can't do it no more, man. It's over with. Your misery is over with, man. You don't have to live with the fact that, you know, OJ's existence bothers you. Why are you still letting him bother you and he ain't even here no more, man? Why are you still bothered by the idea of him? Leave him alone, man. Let him rest in peace. You dig? You would want people to respect you once you get up out of here. And guess what? Just like I'm putting some respect on OJ, you know, I'm going to respect you, Bruce, when you get up out of here, if you get up out of here before I do. You know what I mean? I'm going to respect you because just like OJ, hey, man, you know, even though he's known as Caitlyn nowadays, see, that's just how real I am, man. Hey, Bruce Jenner was a phenomenal athlete as well. You did? But, hey, man, he need to put some respect on OJ's name. And everybody who got criticism against OJ's name, hey, man, it's the law. Let me play that clip again, man. For all y'all who got something to say about OJ, man, this is what I got to say to you. Everybody who got something to say about OJ, man, this is my response to you. Hey, that facial expression is priceless. Let me play it again, man. Hey, man. Hey, for all of y'all who got something to say negative about OJ, man, and you talking about he did it and all this other type of stuff, yeah, your ass wasn't a part of the jury, man. So guess what, man? Don't get mad. It's the law. Don't get mad, Tito. It's the law. Respect the law. You respect it with George Zimmerman. You know what I mean? You respect it with all them officers that whooped on Rodney King. You respect it with the countless cases of police brutality and people getting deleted by the police on and off camera with overwhelming evidence against their ass, and they still get found innocent because the big bad system that's in their favor that protects them. You know, you ain't got no problem with the law then. Oh, but you got a whole lot to say when it come to OJ. It's the law. Respect the law. That's who y'all pay taxes for. Y'all pay taxes for people to find OJ Simpson innocent, man, to find him not guilty. That's what y'all pay taxes for, man. So if you mad at anybody, be mad at yourself for paying taxes for that shit, because it's the law that you pay taxes for. You did. You pay taxes for the justice system to do their job, and they did their job, and they found OJ not guilty. So leave it at that. So long live the legendary, iconic, larger-than-life figure that we affectionately know as the Juice, OJ Simpson, arguably one of the greatest football players, if not the greatest. That, you know, if you say that he's the greatest football player that ever lived, man, I can't be mad at you, and I ain't going to argue with you, because it's a very good, valid statement. You dig? The first player to sign a contract for over $500,000. You know, number one draft pick, Heisman Trophy winner. First player to rush for, 273 yards in one game. First player to rush for 2,000 yards in a 14-game season. You know what I mean? Come on, man. Put some respect on that man's name. You dig? Yeah, OJ Simpson for the record, though. You know what I mean? Frisco's finest, man. Yeah. Potrero Hill Projects, though. You dig? Yeah, man. Put some respect on that man's name. He came from nothing, though, in a time where, the odds were stacked high against him. Yeah, put in work, made it happen, though. Yeah, put some respect on OJ's name, man. Come from nothing. Come from the gutter. Come from the projects. San Francisco, man. Put some respect on his name. You dig? Yeah. And condolences to his family. Condolences to all of the family and loved ones of Orenthal James Simpson. You dig? But yeah, man, we're going to go ahead and wrap this thing on up. And I'm going to hydrate my game one more time before we get up out of here. Hey, listen, man, if you didn't wipe your feet off at the door on your way in, please wipe your feet off at the door on your way out. But before we get up out of here, I got to, hold on, I got to do something right quick that I should have done earlier on, but I'm going to do it now. Hold on. Don't get mad, Tito. It's the law. Well, they mad about it, man. But yeah, we still gonna celebrate OJ, man. Let me see. See, y'all still. Oh yeah, he came from the project, but he didn't do nothing for the projects. Hey, man, put some respect on OJ's name, man. It ain't that hard to do. You dig? Tyler, good looking with the $2 holla. Hit the like button. Blessings. Yes, indeed. Jim, good looking with the $3 holla. Jim, good looking with the $3 holla. Brother Bill, good looking with the $2 holla. You dig? Glory to God for this game. Long live the juice. Long live Sinful the P. You dig? Yes, indeed. Christopher Lee. Man, why is it doing that? Okay. Good looking with the $2 holla, man. Freeze, you a real one for this. Man, I appreciate you, man. That means you a real one too, because it take real to recognize real, you dig? So yeah, I appreciate you, man. But yeah, let me hydrate my game one more time before we get up out of here, man. Matter of fact, hold on, I'm tripping. I meant to do that in the beginning, but I got so wrapped up in what I was doing that it slipped my mind. I gotta pour another glass and make a toast. Glass is up, man. Cheers to OJ Simpson, the legendary, iconic athlete. May the Lord have mercy on his soul. May he rest in peace. And condolences to all his family and loved ones. And yeah, right now we honor OJ Simpson. We celebrate his life and his legacy. You dig? As always, man, I appreciate y'all for tuning in and tapping in. I appreciate you all for your comments, your questions, your input, your feedback, your jokes, all that good stuff. The nostalgic memories that we shared on this live. I appreciate you for sharing this video. I appreciate you for subscribing and hitting the bell when you subscribe. I appreciate you for all the super chats, the PayPals, the Cash Apps. I appreciate you for all that good stuff, every which way that you come with it, all your support. Y'all already know who it is and what it is. Freeze is it. If you're out in traffic moving around, please do so in a safe fashion. And if you still in your feelings about OJ, even after he done passed into the afterlife, don't get mad, Tito. It's the law. Long live OJ Simpson, and of course, long live the incomparable Sinful the P. We out.